Welcome back to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. This week, we're going to talk about how sometimes, especially related to fasting in your weight loss journey, new things can be scary, especially when they challenge your deep thoughts, beliefs, and feelings towards how you think it has to go. It doesn't have to be like that, and you can improve it for the better. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicki Sharon, and thank you for joining me. Yes, new things, new experiences. This journey as a new experience for you, it can be scary. But before we get into that, I want to take a quick moment of deep gratitude to each and every single one of you, and those of you out there who have recently, the past couple days, my inbox has been an incredibly beautiful, just water flow of people that have been reaching out and connecting with me, getting on board with this 30-day fasting plan package that I've worked so hard with putting together, 4 30-minute consults with me, and the digital official Fasting Focused Lifestyle ebook handbook for your download. All of that combined together, a month of support in my handbook, and I'm also including these beautiful little My Intent bracelets that I've meditated on and made by hand, me personally, with the initials of I believe in you, even if you don't. I've made myself accessible for folks this fall, and I've put this together very lovingly, very thoughtfully with you in mind. And if you want more details on it or want to participate in it, I think it's a great start for fall. This is going to get you off and running so that New Year's resolutions, holidays are just a breeze and honestly an enjoyable experience for you to have without negative self-talk, without feeling like another year, oh, health is, still the way it is. Start now. Start now. I can help. All those details and more can be found on my website, thefastingfocusedlifestyle.com. You'll see everything you need to know there.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can. In the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
So these new things, new experiences can be very scary. It can be challenging because in a culture that tells us consistently how we need to shed excess body weight and how we need to do it and what it has to look like, how long it's supposed to take, what our end result is going to be. All these factors are thrown at us with ideals and usually with an intention of trying to sell you a product, a quick fix. It's something that does not allow you to get to the deep underlying issue for the excess body weight in the beginning. Because as I've said before, this excess amount of weight that we have on our bodies, we need to think about it without emotion. So this allows you to attend to, give love, self-compassion, care, and fixing what those inner thoughts and beliefs are. And that is absolutely terrifying if all that you've ever known is it has to be calories in and calories out. I have to excessively work out. I have to measure and stress and punish and restrict and adhere to a list. Whew, that is a lot. But does that add to your experience and possible, hopeful permanence for your results, for so many folks out there, this is not a way to do it. Some folks do have some success, but is this common? No, it is not common. That stressful, restrictive, limiting thinking that it has to be a certain way, the experience has to be to the metrics of what we say on this list and these parameters and measuring and doing it all this way. It feeds those emotional weeds that are still going to be there if we don't address them. So while different weight loss methods outside of fasting, they can give you that initial surge of success, but when you don't have that deep understanding of how the excess body weight got here, what factors brought that on, what factors are keeping you still and stuck at a plateau when you get to a plateau. If you've ever gotten to a plateau, side note, I love them. Check out that episode, Why Plateaus Are Awesome. Blasting through and realizing that you are in control of this process. This will give you power. This will give you so much real grit, tenacity, and lasting power for not just the process, but for the permanence that comes, that will be coming to you on this journey. The deep inner healing is not something that diet culture wants to, is comfortable in, or can profit exponentially like they are with products. This inner deep healing is hard. It's challenging. It's scary. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. And thinking and reflecting and just saying those words, I feel emotion bubble up because I remember mine was hard. Mine was really hard. And my journey is not to be compared with anybody else. We all have to own. We have to own. Like we tell our children when they're little, you have to take responsibility for your actions. We have to take responsibility for the feelings and thoughts, feelings, beliefs, all that stuff, our mental weeds. We have to address our mental weeds. And if it's like an Amazon rainforest jungle up in your emotional weeds, I get that. And I have been there. Oh boy, have I been there. But you don't have to go through with the biggest, baddest lawnmower to just tackle it all. Sometimes the best way to prevent it getting out of control is going to be the small, deliberate, consistent, growing attentiveness to dismantling, dissecting, removing, attending to, thanking, appreciating, learning from each of these blades of grass that you are pulling up and out and addressing. This is where you're going to challenge your thoughts, your feelings on getting healthy. Whether you tell yourself you don't deserve to get healthy, you don't deserve to be at a healthy weight, you don't deserve to be happy. If that's you, side note, I'm going to give you a virtual hug right now. I know that's a lot of folks out there because that was me. That was me. But the way that I see it is that's the lady that was in my past. And I'm so proud that I don't have those constant, debilitating mental weeds anymore. So if these negative emotions, these scary, I'm not going to be able to do this, it's just going to be another failure, diet attempt, I want you to think about this. I'm going to give you a little challenge here. When you have these negative emotions bubble up, whenever they come up, when you're either in a fasted state, you're breaking your fast, you're closing, you're whatever part of the day you're on, if it comes up in the form of a hunger pang, one of my favorite things to do, as an aside, when you get a hunger pang, give yourself a leg, tummy, little tap and say, this is your snack. There you go, right there. You don't need to give me the signs. You got plenty to eat right there. Take that, use that. Let me know how that works for you. Message me. But when you get those emotions, physical pangs of that previously learned habit of hunger, those negative emotions bubble up, see them from outside of yourself. Pause. Like when you start to feel like you're climbing into the thick of it, those mental weeds, pump the brakes for a moment. hold on to that emotion. Don't, I'm not saying dismiss it. We have to see it, feel it, own it when it's there. Our inner little weed is getting out of control. It's reminding you of like, maybe it's, if you've ever seen 1984 Child, so whoop whoop, the movie The Little Shop of Horrors, when, he wakes up, ooh, feed me, Seymour. Yeah, if your inner, hormonal monster is saying, feed me, Seymour, you can just be like, no. I see you. I know where this is coming from. I know I am being told, asked, stressfully triggered by smell, sight, a sound, whatever. I see and I feel that, but that thought and feeling is no longer mine. I don't own that. I see it, it's a thought, it's coming and it's going. And in case that doesn't fully do the trick, or if you want an additional tip for your arsenal, I want you to do this also. With those negative emotions being thoughts, waves, a leaf bubbling down the river, bubbling down the stream. You see it, you pay attention to it, but hey, it's going away. It's going away because something else is coming into your attention. These new things that come into our attention, whether your attention is to these thoughts and feelings coming through your mind, or all of a sudden you see out of the corner of your eye something gleam and your eye just goes there. Next time that happens to you, I'm going to challenge you right now. Focus on what caught your eye and think about your curiosity, excitement, and just genuine interest, imagination maybe even too, of why that caught your interest in the first place. And just have that moment of gratitude of, I'm so thankful my attention was brought over here to whatever this thing was that caught my attention. And I look out my window right now and I see all these shiny blades of grass as my lawn is about to be mowed, but these tiny little blades of grass. And then sometimes, every once in a while, one of those little Florida lizards will pop up on my screen and I'll see him just kind of crawling around. And these little moments, I am so grateful for because yes, they avert your attention, even for just a couple seconds. A couple seconds averting my attention to, oh, look how cute that is so much better than keeping your attention on, oh, another 2 hours before I break my fast, or oh, I can't believe I have to have these diet choices for my food from this specific list. I can't believe I have to take this food out. I can't believe I can't have this anymore. It quiets that victim mentality and quiets that inner dialogue that tells us that this is scary, abort mission. This is scary, stop. This will never work for me. This is too hard. I'll never succeed like everybody has always said. This will be just another failure. Break up with and detach from that way of thinking. Dismantle those mental weeds. Because trust me when I say those mental weeds, if left unattended to, will absolutely mess with your mind when you reach that plateau state. And as I've said before, I love plateaus. They are a communication device to me. And letting the thoughts and beliefs that take over your mental weeds, if you let them stay there and leave them unaddressed, they will absolutely take over. This is why I've also very heavily advocated for utilization of a form of meditation into your lifestyle. Now, the meditation form for you and for someone else in your community network that is also doing a lifestyle of fasting, the different forms, you guys are going to have different forms of meditation, and you have to find a method, a way of addressing these thoughts that work for you. And for me, it was any time that I could just mentally tune out. And for me, as I've linked in my handbook, I have created a very carefully, always growing and building as I continue to listen to more music, a Spotify playlist, because for me, a lot of the time I'm just sitting doing sometimes nothing, just spacing out. But I am almost always listening to music. And my relationship with my Spotify is quite interesting because it's all over the place, but it's so uniquely me. And, side little small plug, but my Spotify playlist that I've put together for you guys, I can feel the emotion, is a lot of songs that were there for me when I didn't really feel like I had anybody, or felt really isolated, alone in my own thoughts and really heavy. So music, I'm sure for many others out there, is a fantastic kind of audio hug that I can access whenever I want to, however, and just having that be something that puts a little bit of a pause on the chaos verbiage that spins out of control sometimes. If you are the type of person who consistently has negative thoughts, emotions, if you go into catastrophe thinking, always expecting the worst to work out for you, this is where you can counterbalance those thoughts. And as crazy and unrealistic as it sounds, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, fake it till you make it, right? I think it's really important on this journey when we have these little moments of victories throughout our journey, whether it's something small and meaningless to somebody who just doesn't get it, doesn't get this lifestyle, doesn't understand the time and energy that you're putting into this. If you have these little victories, as an aside, please, I hope you're taking an opportunity to write them down. It'd be a great thing to write down in your official handbook download that many of you have downloaded already. Keeping track of these non-scale victories add up over time, and keeping them written down or logged, if you like doing video, record on a video. If you're artsy, have your own creative kind of spin to it. And when those negative emotions bubble up, you can easily dismantle them from those moments of joy and excitement that you have captured, that you can revisit whenever you need to, because emotions create habits. And if we, along this process, if we attach positive emotions to every single beautiful moment on this journey, this all adds up. This all adds up into the most beautiful, epic novel of your life, despite what brought you into coming into fasting to begin with. For you to have this tenacity that you have right now to push through what you're pushing through on. This is the story of your life, and you are writing it. You are writing it, you are living it. And savoring all these more positive moments is going to be so much more beneficial for you in the long term when you focus on those positive victories throughout your journey. Yes, it's good to be aware and present when things don't go as planned or below your expectations, but give the pure happiness, enjoyment of this journey. Give the love, but let those positive moments fill you up and savor them. Savor them. Please savor every moment of your journey. Your future self is thanking you so much right now. So much. I reflect on that so often. Whenever I get into my own headspace, I think of how far I've come and how much Vicky 1.0 is loving that she's heading towards 2.0. So I want you to imagine, as I've talked about in previous podcast episode, I want you to see your future self, not for vanity, not for fitting into a dress size, not for looking aesthetically a certain way. I want you to think deep down into your feels. We're getting down into your feels. And I want you to truly think about how you would feel inside and out from head to toe. Take a moment, take a breather, pause here if you want to while listening to motivational Spotify playlist. Whoop, whoop. And I want you to think about how you would feel, how you will feel head to toe, inside and out, and savor how amazing it feels, because now it's permanent. This is a permanent positive change that I did this. Think to yourself, I did this. I did it. and I deserved it, and I'm staying here. Perfect opportunity to sneak in a virtual hug, so I'm going to do it. Big hugs to you all. As always, I believe in every single one of you listening right now. You've got this. Keep going. You can do this. If you are in need of supportive coaching on your fasting journey, I'd love to be that support for you. TheFastingFocusLifestyle.com is chock full of fasting bits from head to toe. We got a lot of great things going on the website. There is obviously the booking services now featuring a 30-day fasting bundle with not just 4 30-minute consults with me via Zoom. You also are getting the download to the official Fasting Focus Lifestyle Handbook immediate PDF download. And then if that wasn't enough, because I really want you guys to feel and get my vibe and energy, because when I make these, I put my intentions and meditative just zest into these bracelets when I make them. I have been making bracelets with the saying, I believe in you, even if you don't, and really meditating on every bracelet that I send out. Those good intentions and well wishes and just empowerment in every single bracelet. So I've got that bundle on the website. I've also got links to my Etsy store, which has the handbook just by itself, resources, and more updates just coming constantly. And just like as I advocate for when starting a fasting lifestyle, I'm just doing a little bit at a time and just keep growing slowly, bit by bit over time. I'm welcoming any feedback or maybe suggestions for different topics that you'd like me to cover on upcoming episodes. I'd love to take those requests. Send me a message at vicky@thefastingfocuslifestyle.com. And thank you, truly thank you again, every single one of you. I'm so thankful for. I'm going to slide on in another big virtual hug if you'd like it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day where you are. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. The Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2023. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.